Hello, Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we will understand about the how Hifzul Quran work in brain. So let's understand about the short review how the brain can function to store that memory, and that memory is the fact, not concept. So, while learning the Quran, the careful attention to listening and pronunciation of verses stimulates an area of the brain located in the temporal lobe. So, the temporal lobe is also where the hippocampus is located, which is the memory consolidation center. So, in this video, we will understand about the hippocampus, how it can function, and how to basically store that memory in the form of synapse. And that synapse basically whenever the Quran reciting and listening will auditory reflex will transmit the signal to our brain, and the nervous system development is known as neuroplasticity. The stage of memory is does not synthesis protein first, and then if again and again stimulation will lead to synthesis of protein. This is the brain, and the brain contains many interneurons. That many interneuron in the limbic system we will discuss, because that is the important center of the memory, and the emotion and the desire of the learning of the Quran will lead to memorize more. This is the presynaptic neuron and postsynaptic neuron. The glutamate is the important neurotransmitter will lead to change the polarization. In this way, the potentiation will occur. The action potential. If you want to see the long-term potentiation as well as the limbic system, as basically is the hippocampus, you can watch that video. I have a video, so in the description below you can learn. This is the basically after the protein synthesis. For protein synthesis, the DNA transcription to mRNA production, translation to produce protein, that protein in the form of channel. Synaptic connection between nervous neurons are not fixed. They can be influenced by past proteins of use or the modulatory neurotransmitter to reduce the complex behavior and store memory. So in this way, basically the hippocampus is the part of the limbic system related to the emotion, learning, desire, as well as the other mood change. In this way, basically the outer environment is a learning of Quran, and the resist to the internal physiology, the change, the alteration of the neuron synapse will lead to learn more. Let's understand about the synaptic plasticity. That is very important for the new pathway of the synapse will lead to more potentiate and long-term memorization of the Quran without any thinking, without any concept. So that is the fact which that store in our brain in the limbic system, the hippocampus. Here is the stages of the synapse. The glutamate in the millisecond will release, and the NAMDA channel and NAMDA receptor and AMPA receptor, which that contain channel. And in this way, here is the millisecond to the minutes and hours to so on. The repetition will occur. In this way, you can see the VGCC is the channel will lead to allow the calcium influx, while the NAMDA receptor, which that's remove the magnesium for the hurdle, and in this way, the when remove the magnesium, the basically influx of the calcium will occur, and the AMPA receptor will a rapid movement of the sodium inside. In this way, when remove the magnesium, the calcium and sodium will move into the cell, and the VGCC is a channel which that will lead to allow the calcium move in through synapse. And in this way, this neurotransmitter is the glutamate for learning. And in this way, you can see the kinases enzyme used and the transcription factor will lead to produce the mRNA. After these kinases, the cascade of phosphorylation And in this way, the cytoskeleton will develop. And the cytoskeleton develop basically the more lambda and M perceptor for the potentiation long term, and after the hours, if not will again and again reciting, so this synapse will withdraw again. Repetition and the strong synapse and neuroplasticity will lead to long-term potentiation. The epigenetic is the protein synthesis via acetylation of the silence gene to activate will lead to protein synthesis more, and in this way the more agility and more fast learning. In this way, the basically is the learning process will increase one day to another day. Let's understand about the major molecular pathway involved in neuroplasticity and the action potential will sustain for the learning and the memorization of the holocron. So in this way, here is the lambda channel, and the AMPA channel contain AMPA receptor and lambda receptor. When the glutamate will bind with the lambda, we remove the magnesium and allow the calcium and sodium move in. And in this way, the sodium will move inside and calcium will lead to positive charge inside rather than the negative charge. And the serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine also involved for the G couple protein receptor to adenylate cyclase activation to cyclic AMP activation. On the other hand, the calcium will move inside through VGCC channel, and the NAMDA is also involved for the influx of the calcium. The increase of the lambda and the basically the AMPA receptor and the channel will lead to increase the depolarization, will lead to action potential generate more easily, and in this way they learn more and memorize more the Quran. The calcium is the calmodulin kinase enzyme activation, and protein kinase C will lead to calmodulin activate here, and the MAP kinase which that activate through bone derived neurotrophic factor via a binding with the tyrosine kinase B receptor. In this way activate the MAP kinase, and the adenylate cyclase will activate through a ATP using to cyclic AMP, and that cyclic AMP will activate the protein kinase A. This protein kinase A, MAP kinase, and the calmodulin kinase will collectively activate. On the other hand, the basically DDE4 protein used for the adenylates adenosine monophosphate conversion, and in this way basically it is just you understand. And the calcium will activate the adenylate cyclase also. The protein kinase A, MAP kinase, and the calmodulin kinase collectively activate the CRUB. This CRUB gene is the transcription factor. The transcriptional apparatus will lead to target to the nucleus, will lead to genetic changes. These genetic changes which that will lead to silent synapse occur, will lead to learn and the potentiate for the long-term memorization of the Quran as a memorization without any concept or understanding. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. For this time, bye.